I was going to do this outside, but it's a cloudy day outside. As you can see, it's raining, so let me get this in.
Good morning, Cebu. This is Gerard, Editor-in-Chief of Filipino Soul, broadcasting to you from New York, Filipino Soul Radio. Today I'm going to talk about music. It's always about the music, because music is the bookmark of our lives. You know, often the time as I traveled or been involved in different cultures, I always want to get involved in the music that is popular there, or I not only as I'm in different cultures, but just in general. When you take the time, there's no greater appreciation you can show another culture other than showing interest in their music. And even though you don't understand the language, the power of the music, the only thing in this world you can trust, will make you move. You can often at time almost paint a picture of what the artist is saying just from how they are singing the song. Like when I was involved in the Russian community, I learned what Norway proverot, immortal rebirth. That's part of the song. Or Amaros, Maros, Amaros Minyan, Amaros Minyan. I can't remember it, but it's taking the time to learn or care enough to learn the music. And at this time, I'm going to shout out to Nina, because Nina has become a friend of mine on Facebook. She is like my mother in the Ukrainian or Russian culture. When I was involved in it for 10 years, it was so beautiful to see her request to be my friend after so long. You know, when I was involved in that culture, and the person who I was with, we separated. And it wasn't so much the fact of her and I separated, but after 10 years of being in the culture, everybody left. Everybody left. It was very painful, very hurtful. I felt so alone, you know, not being able to communicate with people who I've loved and have grown and who have accepted me. You know, oh man.
I understood it because it wouldn't have been fair to them to have holidays, get-togethers like the ones that we used to have, with my being there and also the person who I was with. So it was best for me to disassociate myself with the entire clan. But it was very painful.
I'm in the Philippines now. And this song that I'm about to play, I can't even pronounce the artist's name. But this was a very popular song there, and I've learned some of the lyrics to it. So I want you to hear it. So right now, today, it's going to be about the Filipino music. And I'll be right back.
Akala ko may ibig sabihin ang pag-like mo sa status ko sa Facebook. Nagre-reply ka rin sa Twitter. Akala ko yun na, pero nakita ko kahapon may pinost kang iba. May kasama kong maganda. Ang sabi mo sa akin, kaibigan mo lang siya. Ang hirap pa lang maging DMGA. Ang hirap pa lang maging DMGA. Pinapaasa mo lang ako kasi alam mo na crush kita.
Okay, I wish I could pronounce her name. It's Yeng. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to be telling you the artist's name or the name of the song due to copyright infringements. Or so I don't want to be blocked. But anyway, this is a very beautiful young Filipino girl. She's very popular here in the Philippines, and this is one of the songs. Often the time when I go somewhere, I often ask people to, I turn over my phone on my YouTube and tell them to play a song. And I often the time would ask them to play the most popular song. When I was a driver and I used to drive the young people around, I used to ask them to use my phone because it was connected to the car to play whatever songs they want to hear. And I ended up with such a diversity of different songs to listen to. Not only some that I like, but some that also bookmark that moment in time in my life. Now, I know I don't date these because life is one long continuous moment. And that's how I live my life. That's how I want you to think of my life, not so much as a time, but as the moment I'm in that moment. Okay, this next song I'm going to play, this is from, I was in this place called Robinson's department store. Robinson is their big department chain there in the Philippines. And it's something similar to, it's a department store chain. Like Macy's, like anything else, and they were setting up one thing about the people in the Philippines, they love singing. Karaoke is a very popular pastime activity. And often the time, you can find venues, even on Sunday in the supermarket, you will find venues where they're bringing the people to perform for the people in the supermarket who happen to be grocery shopping or whatever. They're also very keen on competitive shows, which I have an artist I'm going to share with you about that. But before I do, they were setting up some type. It's called Campus Island 6 competition that was taking place. And these were artists who were from high schools and what have you who were performing. Over the time, I just automatically just jump in and just cover it. You can see some of it in the magazine. You can see some of them performing on my YouTube channel called Filipino Soul Magazine. This one young girl, she came and she sung this next song. I knew from the time that when the note hit, the way she started moving, the way she started stepping, the passion that she put, Kiseseya, nena luya, Kiseseya. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but just the emotion, I found how to be the best one at performing. And anyway, so this is the song. Actually, this song is about, if I can remember correctly, this is about, I think, why you left me or why you chose her or something like that. Why her than me or something. It's more or less one of those type of songs. Similar to like the Russian song. Russian songs often have something to do with the seasons. It has something to do with life ending. Some of the songs are often depressing, but it also paints the picture of the not failure, but just the lack of or the non-existence of immortality. And it's very moving. Sometimes it can be very sad, but it's also very exciting to listen to. But right now, we're going to listen to this artist here, and hope you enjoy it. You're listening to Dried, Filipino Soul Magazine, Filipino Soul Radio. It has a little long lead to it, but I hope you be moved by it like I have when I heard this young girl sing this song. Well, I hope you enjoyed that song. The emotion in that song, I meant to sing a little bit with you, but I got a phone call from a public relations cat, a promotion cat, and his name is Chris Johnson. And him and I talked, we're going to get together, but he had informed me of things that I did not know. I did not know that Timothy Wilson, who I consider my artist, formerly lead singer of Frankie Lyman's Teenagers, he did My Queen of Hearts, Baby Baby Please, and a number of other hits. In fact, he was signed to Motown and also married to Mr. Barry Gordy's first wife. When he was signed to Motown, Timothy Wilson's song, Baby Baby, was climbing up the charts. But at this time, the Temptations had just came aboard. And the Temptations were doing the song, that's when they released The Way You Do the Things You Do. But Timothy's record was getting more play. So what Mr. Gordy decided to do was to shelve Timothy. In other words, stop him and put his energy behind the temptation. Because Mr. Gordy and Motown already had a lead singer, and that was Marvin Gaye. He already had a vocalist in Marvin Gaye. So Timothy was shelved to make way for the Temptations. And now you know the rest of the story. He soon left Motown after that. I also found out that Stan the Man of Stan the Man radio show, who I've been trying to get a hold of to go on his radio show, had passed away. Man. Life is just too short, you know. So anyway, we're going to stop here. You're listening to Filipino Soul Radio. My name is Gerard, your host. Baby, Baby, Please, and a number of other hits. In fact, he was signed to Motown and also married to Mr. Barry Gordy's first wife. When he was signed,
Murphy's Law, what can go wrong? Well,
to Motown, Timothy Wilson's song, Baby, Baby, was climbing up the charts. But at this time, the Temptations had just came aboard. And the Temptations were doing the song. That's when they released The Way You Do the Things You Do. But Timothy's record was getting more play. So what Mr. Gordy decided to do was to shelve Timothy. In other words, stop him and put his energy behind the temptation. Because Mr. Gordy and Motown already had a lead singer, and that was Marvin Gaye. He already had a vocalist in Marvin Gaye. So Timothy was shelved to make way for the Temptations. And now you know the rest of the story. He soon left Motown after that. I also found out that Stan the Man of Stan the Man radio show, who I've been trying to get a hold of to go on his radio show, had passed away. Man. Life is just too short, you know. So anyway, we're going to stop here. You're listening to Filipino Soul Radio. My name is Gerard, your host, editor of Filipino Soul Magazine, aka SGIB Magazine. Soldiers got intentions, believe that, because everyone should be soldiering for something. A dream, a goal, an idea, a dream about something. And owner of PBG's production staff performed by Gerard, the best in freelance publicity photography. And CEO of the Burl Corporation, BERYL, which means forever. Remembering your love. If you haven't got a goal, a dream, an idea, a train of thought, don't worry about it. Do what I do. Get as much as you can, as fast as you can, and go home. And remember, I will always love you more. And if you're lucky enough to have a woman like Ollie Woodson, formerly lead singer of The Temptations, once sung, treat her like a lady. And ladies, if you're lucky enough to have a man, make him feel like a king. I'll always love you more. Peace.